Oke, kini saya bersama dengan Gary Jacobs, pemain garda andalan dari Satria Muda Pertamina Jakarta. Gary, how are you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
Good, good. Where are you now?
I'm back home in Las Vegas at the moment, man. I'm just hanging out with my daughter, my family.
Okay. How's the situation right there? Still, is it locked down?
Yeah. So currently, right now, we've been on lockdown for the past 2 weeks, and they just extended it. So they just pushed it back into May. We were supposed to be locked down April 16th, and then they did back 20 more days.
Wow.
We're in the same position as a lot of people. We're just on lockdown and trying to take the precautions to stay safe because it hasn't gotten the worst yet out here as well, and they're still expecting that.
Okay. How bad is it in Las Vegas? I mean, what's the condition on the strip?
I don't necessarily know how bad it is in Las Vegas. I want to say that we're containing the numbers. I think that our governor took it as far as locking us down, just as anywhere else, just to try to keep the virus away, right?
Yep.
It's kind of crazy, man, because I drove past the Strip the other day. I live about 20 minutes from the Las Vegas Strip, and I've never seen it that way. It's completely empty. It looks abandoned,
It's all deserted.
And it's like the first time ever in history that Las Vegas has looked so empty and that the Strip and the casinos were closed. So it's kind of crazy, man.
What about the water fountain on Bellagio? Still working?
No, they shut it off.
They shut it off.
They shut it off. The only thing working on the Strip is the lights still. The lights still work.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, man. Let's talk a little bit about basketball. I know the IBL 2020 ends abruptly, and I don't know. Maybe I should ask your opinion about you as a player for Satria Muda, and the trend of Satria Muda is towards getting better and better as the season goes. So, how are you feeling about all this situation in IBL, and what's your opinion about this competition this year?
Man, first off, I want to give my hats off to the IBL. I think they did a great job with implementing the third import. I think that gives a lot more competition. I think it makes the games better, right? I think it's a lot more competitive. So I think they did a great job with being that third guy. IBL season 2020 was fun, man. I felt like for me, myself, and my team, we were just getting started. Like you said, in the beginning of the year, we were struggling, a lot of ups and downs. And then kind of towards that second half of the season, I think we picked up 6 wins in a row, right? So for me, I was like, man, we're on a roll. We're finally looking like a team. We're playing well. We look good. My mind is like, man, I'm trying to go win this championship now, And then obviously the coronavirus comes out of nowhere. So it kind of put a damper into my plans, man, of what I had for 2020 IBL, it kind of slowed us all down, but especially my team being on that streak at the right time. I feel like we were getting hot at the right time. It kind of killed our momentum, man, and but the thing about it is that it's not just us. It's affecting everybody globally. So that's just something that we can't control. But overall, I think this season was so much fun. Even the times where Satria and Muda, where we would be losing, and I just had a lot of fun this year, and I learned so much about myself and just my teammates and stuff, man. So I think it was a pretty good season for what was for the games that were played, and hopefully that the corona slows down a little bit and they're able to bring us back in June or July, how they were speaking.
Yeah, well, we hope to. But let me ask you this: what's the difference between the first half and the second half in terms of the internally in your team in Satria Muda?
Well, I don't know if a lot of people know, man, but a lot of those guys on my team, as far as the local players, they're young guys. Yeah, they might have been in the league, but never have gotten playing time. So for us, it was a lot of young guys first time on the court with a lot of action, 20 plus minutes. You know, I had a couple rookies. So I think that was the thing, was just, you know, trying to get the young guys up to pace and onto the same page. And also just learning chemistry, learning one of each other, trying to build team camaraderie. We were all new to one another, you know, especially with the new coach coming from Europe, trying to implement his style of play into the Southeast Asia style of play, you know. So I think we were just all trying to figure each other out and learn each other and, you know, just get on the same page. And I think that's what kind of happened. I think when that 3-week break in the middle of the season happened, I think that was the perfect time for us. And I think it kind of showed coming out of that break, you know.
Were you struggling? Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Were you struggled in the first half of the season when the new coach implement his own strategy for the team?
I would say so a little bit. Just trying to get a feel for exactly what he needed, you know, or not what he needed, but exactly what he wanted. I think for me, that's where my up and down was in the beginning of the year, because he wanted me to be more of a point guard, right? I think in the IBL, everybody's used to seeing me score a lot of points, 25, 30, 35. And I think from him, he just wanted me to become a better point guard, a better leader. And when I was still trying to force the scoring a little bit. And so I think that was a struggle. But I think once, you know, we got comfortable with one another and we had an understanding, I think everything turned around.
Can you comment a little bit about your chemistry with Elijah Foster and also Tyquan Scott?
Eli, man, I think honestly, you know, I get this question quite a bit. And I think a lot of it has to do with just how we are with each other off the court. You know, we're always hanging out. We're always eating. We're always going to watch movies. We're always playing around. So I think that's where the on-the-court chemistry started getting built, was just always being together off the court. And Tyquan Smith was a good addition, too. I think he was just young, rookie, first year overseas, a little different for him. And but yeah, man, we were just really close off the court, just hanging out all the time. Like I said, going out together, eating, you know, movies, hang out, whatever. So I think that's where the connection started. And I think with Elijah also is that so Elijah's from Seattle, right? I went to college in Seattle
in Washington,
with Elijah's best friend. So we kind of been knowing each other, you know.
Okay.
So I think that's where it started.
Okay. In terms of import player, you already been considered as a seasoned veteran. You know, you've been playing for you have played for NSH, you have played for Garuda, you have played for Hang Tuah, and now you played for Satria Muda. After all these years playing in the IBL, do you think, you know, I mean, how do you see the competition this year? Is it improving? Is it, you know, improving by a lot, improving a little bit?
I think this is the best year it has been by far. It's especially competition. Like I said, IBL implementing the third import, that does a lot. You know, that brings a lot more energy, a lot more excitement to the games. And not even just the imports, but the locals, man. I've seen so many locals over from my first year to my fourth year that have improved so much. You know what I mean? A lot of those guys can really play good basketball, and I think that's what has a lot to do with it. So in my 4-year span, this is by far the best season as far as competition, the competitiveness, the difference between the best team and the worst team. I think IBL is only getting better and better each year for sure.
Yeah, this is the question actually is continuation from your previous statement. We've seen a lot of first-year player, you know, import players struggling in this league this year. Could it be one of the reasons because the competition is so high this year that the first-year player, the rookie, you know, import player, you know, find it, you know, quite challenging for them to keep up with this competition in the IBL?
Absolutely. I think that, you know, maybe a couple of years ago, people looked at Indonesia basketball and was like, oh, that's an easy league. I can go there and win, you know, or I can go there and perform well. I think coming into this year, people kind of thought the same thing, like, oh, it's Indonesia. And then once they got there, they realized, like, okay, these guys aren't no slouches, you know. It's real basketball players out here, locals and imports. And I think that's what it is. You know, some guys are struggling, thinking it's going to be easy, but that's also part of just becoming a professional at any level, you know. It's always a different type of ball game. And that's what I try to tell people here back home in the States, that those Indonesian guys, man, those Indonesian ball players, they're a lot better than what people make them out to be.
Okay. Can you name like one player from your team, Satria Muda, that surprised you the most with the improvement, and then one player from the other team in the league that you see, you know, a lot of improvement from the previous year?
A lot of improvement from. A lot of improvement from Satria Muda. He didn't play before because he's a rookie.
Yeah.
But who surprised me a lot coming into Satria Muda, and then also just the last couple of games before season got postponed, is Rivaldo.
Rivaldo Tandra. Okay.
He's man, he could play basketball. He's fearless. He's very confident in himself, and he's very fearless, and that's what I love about him, man. He'll go out there and battle with anybody, and he's always up to do whatever task that the team needs, you know, and I love that about him. But he surprised me. He actually can really play ball. I always tell him all the time, man, you could come to the States and play in college and stuff.
What about
somebody from another team? You know who got a lot better is what's the shooter from Hong Tua? The shooter.
Abram Wenas?
Nah, the shooter, number 11.
Nino.
Man, he got a lot better, man. And Daniel Wenas. Daniel Wenas, man, he's surprising people, huh?
From Louvre?
I think he's surprising. I think he's surprising people, man. He was playing really, really, really consistent this year.
Yeah, he's been coming along. I mean, you know, I've seen his career, you know, from the backup player. Now he's become the leader of the team.
Yeah, that's big time right there. So I would have to go with Daniel Wenas as well for sure.
Okay, hey, let me ask you this. Let's say, you know, the season continues, or even if it doesn't continue, we have to pick one of the player as the MVP of the league. You know, I mean, from time to time, from series to series, I usually grade players, and then, you know, I mention, you know, their improvement, their achievement. And I know one time, you know, you kind of like, you know, disagree with me in some stuff, you know, the way I grade player. But let me ask you your opinion. From all you've seen during this IBL 2020, other than yourself, who do you think is who's your pick as the MVP of the league?
My biggest MVP of the league.
Other than yourself.
Well, for me, when it comes to MVP, I think more about, right, MVP stands for the most valuable player, not the highest scorer, not the highest rebound, the most valuable player to that team, right?
Okay.
Besides myself, man, I think the other player that makes their team go, and they would be nowhere as good if they didn't have him, is NSH. I like Mike G.
Mike Glover?
Yeah, I think he started off slow. I think he started off the season slow. But I think over these last 2 or 3 weeks, he picked it up a lot, man. And you know, they had NSH on a great win streak as well, right? 7 games or something like that.
Right.
He was playing like a beast, man. So I would probably have to go him. Probably him or Dior, honestly. Like I said, the MVP to me is most valuable player to that team, and without that player, would they still be a good team? And I think both of those guys on both of those teams, if they don't have Dior, if they don't have Mike Glover, I don't think they're good teams, right?
Yeah.
So I'd have to go. I'd have to go with one of those guys, man.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Good enough. Last question for you, Gary. Um, if you come back again, either the continuation of this season, or come back again next season after all this COVID-19 pandemic, uh, what would you expect from Satria Muda to improve? I mean, is there still some things that they need to improve to have a biggest chance to win the championship, or do you think that your team is already good enough to win the championship?
I'm gonna be honest. I think with the switch out that we made for Tez, our new import, I think we were good enough to win the championship this year. To be honest with you, I think there's always room to improve. I think for the young guys on Satria, it's just being more poised and more calm under pressure, right? They're young, so when we get into tight game situations, when we get into just tight game situations, we tend to make a lot of mistakes, and we tend to fold a little bit, right? I think that just comes with experience and just playing a lot.
Okay.
So I think just this year alone will prepare Satria more for next season than it did this year.
Okay. The reason I ask you is because quite a few Satria Muda players now playing for Indonesia Patriots, and after the FIBA Asia Cup, they'll come back to your team, and you're gonna have Arki, you're gonna have Kevin Jonas, and you're gonna have Hardianus in there. So that's additional arsenal, for Satria Muda, and I just asking you whether without their help, you already have confidence to win it all.
We definitely have confidence. I think we have the team, but if you want to add the guys from the Patriots, oh, for sure. Come on, man. Those are veteran. Those guys are veterans, and they're already champions. They'll always help us. They'll always help us win because they know how to win. Especially a guy like Arki. I think he plays a big role, even though he may not score a lot. Man, I think it's just he's a leader. He's very vocal. And he's been in a lot of these positions before, 4 championships in Indonesia. So, of course, those guys would help us a lot. They would bring a lot to our team, size, shooting, everything. So, if we get those guys back, I think it's over. We might go undefeated next year, man.
That's confident. And let me ask you this: is it which one is harder? Trying to fit into a new team in the foreign land, or trying to take care of your baby girl?
Oh, taking care of her, man. You want to see her? Look at her. Say hi.
Hello, hi. Hi, what's her name, Gary?
Her name's Violet.
Oh, hi, Violet.
Say hi. Can you say hi, mommy? Say hi.
Hi, nice to meet you. Oh, so cute.
She just wake up.
All right. Hey, thank you so much for your time, Gary. Thank you so much for the interview. And hopefully, things get better, and there's gonna be another chance for you to come back here, because a lot of people want to see you come back here and play again for Satria Muda.
For sure, and I want to be back, man. So I'll see you guys soon. And I appreciate you having this interview with me, boss. Right. Have a good day, all right?
All right, thanks.
See you soon, man.
Stay safe. Bye-bye.
You too.